what's up, you guys? This is the Kingdom Community, and our big purpose is to bring together the 12 tribes of Israel so that we can learn the art of community and learn to and live together sustainably, as we go from a online community to an on-land community. And links and description, links are in the description. So, as we know it, especially nowadays, the world's has been, well, the powers of this world has been at odds with the truth. And, whether it be the truth of this world or the truth of, who the Israelites are, who the Jews are, there's a lot of things going on, behind the scenes, with the powers that be in this system, in this world. And, it'd be more important if, the so-called common folk would get a grasp on the truth and who are the Israelites, who are the Jews, because this, I see it as this, that there has to be a righteous nation that will take over and keep the world in order and, and make sure people have happy lives. There's, a happiness rating, usually when people are living their dreams, they're more happy. But the way, the New World Order or the World Economic Forum, the way they want it, you'll own nothing and be happy. But that's not going to bring happiness to anybody. Owning nothing isn't going to be a thing of happiness, especially when, they take everything you own and keep you in this system, in a system you don't even want to be a part of, because you may value freedom more than servitude. So this world and the powers that be are very against what the Bible, for one, because the Bible is a very good foundation for wisdom. So they're against the truth, and, I understand it, even with the majority of the population today, because, the truth can be a hard pill to swallow. It's not easy to take in a lot of truth, especially about the things that are going on today, this gender war, just a lot of things going on today. And, a lot of people are finding it hard to accept, certain realities of the world we live in today. And, that's just the reality of it. Majority of people would rather, live in bliss or live in ignorance than to hear the truth, accept it, and then, once you hear it and accept it, it means you have to do something about it. You can't ignore it, especially when it might depend on your survival. It's going to be something that you're going to have to address right away. Otherwise, you won't survive or thrive. So, what I'm saying? It's a hard pill to swallow, these things, especially, if you're Ashkenazi Jew and, you finally learn that your people were really Khazarians, and, now you got to, think how you're going to move now. Are you going to keep being, Ashkenazi Jew, or are you going to restart your Khazarian nation? chances are most people are gonna stick with, they're gonna stick with being the Ashkenazi Jew, because it would take too much, you know, to go back to Khazarian, and then they'd have to put that culture together, and then they'd have to admit, oh yeah, well we've been lying this whole time, so the real Jews, over in South America and North America, this is really your thing. That's not gonna happen. I mean, it could, but the possibility is very small from what I'm seeing, and how people move, and these people, they benefit off that lie. So why would they change? If if you're unrighteous and you're benefiting off a lie, and you have millions of people who also benefit off that lie, why would they move? For what reason would they move? What would they get out of telling the truth over telling, this lie? Because the lie is what's feeding their families. The lie is what's, having them, have a name for themselves. Got people really thinking the Israelis are the Israelites. It's two different things. People thinking that the Jewish, something that's like a Jew, is a Jew. And this is what's bringing about confusion. So these people, they benefit off the lie, and so does America. Why give you back your culture? Because then America would have to admit, well, we took your culture from you, and if they give it back to you, they'd be admitting that, they did something wrong. America don't think it's doing anything wrong by keeping you oppressed. That's why they never formally apologize. No president, I could be wrong, but from what my research, I haven't seen any president, any U.S. president apologize for what its nation has done to the so-called African Americans and Native Indians here. There hasn't been a formal apology. And if there was, that apology was so small and minute, and that why don't I know about it? That means there ain't never been one. There's never been an apology, because they want to benefit off you. They benefit off you being the slave and them being the master. That's the game here in America. Nobody wants you to know who you are. It's the whole earth. Let me tell you, man, the whole planet, just about every nation that does dealings with America benefits from your labor, benefits from your hard slavery. And, which is one of the reasons why I'm starting this community, because it has to be done. I'm not saying I'm going to change the world. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, who knows? But some type of community's got to be built. And I'm saying on land, it's cool to, have, your church community. Y'all got a parking lot in a building. That's cool, that's fine. But a church is a church. That's what it is. It's not going to get us to the next evolutionary level. So instead of all this confusion that seems to be going on, especially, I don't really mind the confusion in the world, but I'm more so concerned with the confusion internally with our people, because that's very serious. That needs to be really ironed out. Especially like these camps, man. There's a few camps out here who's making millions of dollars, millions, and there's still no nation, still no land. You've been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years of being, building your Israelite church or, organization or whatever. And, there's still no land, still no community. When is it going to happen? When is it going to start? So, it's almost, I hate to say it, man. It's like these churches, they benefit off you too. It's like everybody's trying to break you in some kind of way. And, black men and black women, even though, from right now, it seems like the majority of our sisters don't really see they're being played by the system and, these churches and stuff. And, it just seems like a lot of brothers are kind of passively moving away from all this stuff, and, I get it, but what about salvation? What about us as a whole? Even if you say, well, the black community is done with, okay, but there's still other brothers that look like me and you who need a community. How are black men going to really survive with all of us going separate ways? If you MGTOW and you say, men going their own way or whatever, we just, go to, every black man just kind of, goes his own way without kind of, seeing what we can build with each other. Ain't this kind of dysfunctional? If it's one thing if the sisters, all black men come together, or a portion of black men come together, build themselves a community, and the sisters don't want to join, that's okay. Let the sisters go where they want to go. You can't control, a woman who you're not responsible for. So just let them, go where, if they want to go wherever. But as men, shouldn't we build some type of generational wealth? Because that's how you're going to get the leg up on, it's how you're going to survive. You need to, when you die, who are you going to pass your stuff on to? You're going to pass your stuff on to the kids you're making, who you moved your whole family to Brazil, and now y'all living in Brazil, and then, you may pass that money on to them, but you're going to really be passing it on to the nation of Brazil and helping their finances and the economy of Brazil or Puerto Rico or Thailand or wherever, brothers going nowadays, passport bros or whatever, so, wouldn't it make more sense if we started our own government, our own nation, and keep the circulating our dollar? Wouldn't that make more sense, as men, But, America likes all this confusion. It's easy to conquer a people who are this confused. If you don't feel it's right to even work with the brother next to you, that's confusion. You don't see the benefit in working with the man that comes from the same place you come from, shares the same struggle you've been struggling with, the same people, same brothers and sisters that look like you. It's just as just as a people, we've gone through a little bit too much, man. We're really damaged out here. So this is what's going on. Divide and conquer. Even to the extent that it's on your mind. It's the powers that be. They want this confusion. They want you to be confused about your race, your nationality, who you are, who you're gonna side with, what your gender is. Anything for you to be confused about, that's good for them, because that means it'll take you longer to get out of that confusion. And it's going to take you longer to get out of that confusion. And then even after you get out of that confusion and you finally, let's say you have a solid foundation now, you in the scriptures, or you're Muslim or whatever, and you finally worked your way out of a certain confusion, gender or nationality confusion, whatever. You still have to make the move, the actions to resolve that. And right now, the main focus that I see that we should have as men is, creating some type of, stability, on land, without a home base or a nation, we're just rolling stones, Rolling Stone Nation, so it's an information war, man. It's an information war. They're trying to control the narrative. I mean, they have been, and they're gonna control your narrative. They're gonna push Martin Luther King on you and push your narrative as a people and say, Martin Luther King, fought for civil rights. He didn't fight for human rights. He fought for civil rights. So white folks and black folks can get along and be integrated, and that's the narrative America wants to push. And that's the narrative coon black folks want to push. And that's just going to lead us into a deeper hell. So make sure you choose a side. Make sure you figure out what your gender is and you choose a side. Otherwise, I don't think you'll survive if you don't really get yourself clear on what side and where it is you want to be. So, and I'm going to tell you, man, I wouldn't choose the narrative America pushes, because America always pushes lies. Always. America will always push lies. You can bet on that. You can check the past behavior of the United States, as far as the drug war. Drug war was pushed, really was a war on black people. That's actually been admitted. What president was that? I think it was Bob Dole, or it was, I'm not too sure, but I know there was a president that actually admitted that. Well, yeah, that was a war on you. Tuskegee experiment. The countless treaties with the Native Indians. Which is us, but like I said, you gotta get clear on who we are, man. It's a lot of confusion out here. So make sure you guys do your research, man. Make sure you get real clear on what's going on. Read your Bible, man, because that may become public enemy number one in these next few years. So there's a war on your mind. So secure your mind, secure your faith, build yourself a strong foundation, because the truth is on its way back. The truth is coming back to what the truth of this world and the truth of our people. That's what's coming back to planet Earth. It's prophesized, and it's what the planet wants. That's what I feel like, because I don't see any there's a righteous nation who's gonna actually make the earth, how can I say, bring out the full potential of what planet Earth is supposed to be. Instead we have industries who and corporations who kind of guide the powers of this world, and World Economic Forum, and the constant pollution of the planet. So I mean, the truth is coming back, man. And even as an individual, I highly suggest that you invest your time and read, man, on what is the truth of this world. Who are you really, even as an individual, and who we are as a collective. And if reading your Bible, gives you a reason for living, I highly suggest you make that choice, man, of reading the scriptures. That's what it's done for me. It's like the scriptures say, it breathes the laws, statutes, commandments are the breath of life. You become like a new person. You give you life. You want to live. You want to choose righteousness. You want to choose life. And like the scriptures say, man, the truth will set you free. If you invest your time in learning and really, understanding what's really going on nowadays, you'll be that much more ahead of the crowd, instead of being very invested in thug and whore culture. You need to pick, especially if you're, sister or brother, black man, black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man who's watching this. You need to, really make a choice, man. Choose the culture you want to align with. America is not our culture. That's not the way it's not the way it's not sustainable. It's not a very sustainable culture. I wouldn't choose it. But of course, everybody has their own life. So you're an adult. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. And it's time anyway for us to take back our power. Take back our power and be a people again. It's high in time. It's time for this to happen. It really is. We've been too oppressed for hundreds of years, man. We got to see the light of day at some point, man. It's too sad for what's happened to us, man. It's really sad. So we're gonna have to take back our power, our whether financially, our God, our nationality, our culture, and apply it. Apply the scriptures, apply these things to your life. Apply living a way that's sustainable. Thug culture ain't sustainable. Thugs ain't building communities. They're not doing that. That's not what it's doing. Hoes ain't building communities. That's not what they do. So pick the culture, if I were you, I'd pick the Israelite culture, because, it's the most sustainable culture, that, everybody gets their cultures from the scriptures. Islam is based on the scriptures, so, make a choice, man. And that way, when we do come together as a people and we're actually on land and in a community, we're going to regain our full strength and be that nation that the Lord has always wanted us to be. So with that, man, you guys, this is the Kingdom community. Our big purpose is to bring together the 12 tribes of Israel so we can learn the art of community and live together sustainably as we move from an online community to an on-land community. And, links in description are on the page, and links are in the description and on the page. And make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I hope you enjoy this talk. You guys have a good one, okay?